Okay, I got that nut off. And I'm just going to move that motor over. And I'm going to pull that old coupling off. I can see already that that's what's broken. And this is pretty common, that it breaks on one side of it. And you can see it makes a triangle. And there's a cutout for the shaft of the motor right there. And that's what happens is they break. Now, this part cost about $20 new. I'm reusing this section from an old one, so it's not costing me anything to fix this machine. And what you want to do is slip that onto that motor shaft. And the other one is mounted onto the transmission. And I just gotta move this out of here. There's a clamp for the wiring harness on the motor. It's real cold in the garage today. And my fingers split from the weather being cold, so I'm having a hard time. Okay, so that's that right there. And it's sitting on there. Now what you have to do is you have to tap that on with a socket and a hammer. And you don't want to tap too hard, because of course you don't want it broken. So that one's a little bit small. That's a 13 millimeter. I'd say you have that. Okay, let's try this one. This is the 14 millimeter. Set that right on the center. You don't want to tap too hard because you could crack the new plastic piece. You got to get it on there though. Okay. So to stick this back on, you want to make sure that you're lined up. Sorry about the dog. Go sit down, buddy. And I'm just lining up my openings here so that this can all get reassembled. Look. Look, look, look. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what this looks like in here. Take you off the tripod. This is the other half of the coupling right here. And this is the rubber piece, and then the side that fixes to the transmission. So, we'll just sit here and watch this. Try to prop you up with my screwdriver. There. Okay. Get your mounting bracket ready. And all you have to do is line that up. And I'm not a pro at this, so it usually takes me a couple tries. But it's on there. And you can feel it because it slips right in, except for I had my motor sitting the wrong way. That was a quarter turn off. Girls, don't worry about your manicure. money you save in calling the repair guy will make up for it. Okay. You can feel it as it sets. It'll seat right into where it's supposed to go. Clamp your clamp on. And this one required a nut driver on the bottom. That clamp again is holding on your motor clamps to the transmission. And you do the bottom one first, because it really helps to have something to push down on. You still have to have your hand under it to brace it. Okay. This is the top motor clamp right here. And it's mounted back there into the transmission. So that was the hard part I was struggling with. Remember to plug your wiring harness back into your motor. Okay, there's that. And we're going to put our pump back on there. If your washing machine is ever not draining properly, this is the pump. And these cost about $30 to $50. And all that thing does is spin on the motor, and there's a flywheel in there that spins and forces the water out. Okay, so here's these 4 legs. And they generally recommend taking off hoses for this. I'm trying to do it easy because I can't find my pliers. I have an entire set of tools plus an entire toolbox, but I seem to always be missing had my shaft turned the wrong way. Okay, same thing here. Find your holes for your mounting brackets. Not a bad idea to wear gloves doing something like this. I always have a hard time being able to feel things. I always end up with cuts on my fingers, which ends up making my job harder. Okay. Now, that's all reassembled. So, we're going to stick that cabinet right back on there. I'm going to try to give you a side view. Little bit of a trick doing this. Oh, give you a little bit more of a view. There. Okay. This bottom here is higher than the side. And you have to make sure that the front of the cabinet goes underneath that. So all you do is tip it forward till you're up underneath it. Lean it back. You want to make sure these sides are lined up. cabinet is just about on. So all we have to do here should be able to shut that lid down. You ever notice how things don't go quite the way you're trying to get it to go because you're making a movie, even though you've done it a bunch of times? Lined up here. Whoever wired this thing, I tell you, I've never had one wired quite so short. Push those on, and it's on. Remember to plug yourself back in, or when you get to your spin cycle, it's not going to go through. And if you're doing this to sell it or for a tenant, you're going to get a call that something's not right, and you're going to be pretty fit and mad about it. Okay. That's back in. Take your screws. Reattach your control panel. Do that on both sides. Do my little wipe down, so this is a good time to do it while you got those caps off so it looks nice and clean. Alright. Take your cap, a little tab on the back, line that up, and it snaps right on. Do that on the other side. And it's assembled, good as new. Total repair, $0. The link to this video to fix it with a few interruptions from the kids and the dog, and it's all set.